Hello everyone, this is Meteorologist Marshall Downing with a look at today's forecast. We're still in a weather authority alert day through midnight with the chance of flooding being the reason that we're in it in the first place. We could get some rumbles of thunder, but the main storm risk stays pretty far towards the south. It's really the heavy rain coming down through the afternoon into the evening and even into the night that we're a little bit more concerned with this particular system. This level 2 flood risk extends through most of our region, but especially the NRV and south side are included in that. Roanoke, Lynchburg are included as well. Most of the flooding is going to stay south of 460, but we could see some high water to the north of it. Heavy rain is common for a lot of us, especially in south side, presenting that localized flooding risk that we have. Currently, a lot of rainfall is staying pretty far off towards the west for some of the heavier pieces. Same thing down towards the south. That's where a little bit of the heavier rain is coming right now. We'll go ahead and zoom in closer to us, but you can see that that system extends down into Georgia and even into the Gulf of Mexico. For what's coming through parts of South Carolina into North Carolina, there are yellows and some oranges showing up, but a lot of it is staying rather light for right now. The lighter that rain stays, because I do think it's going to last for a while, it's better for us in reducing the flood risk. I don't think we're outside of that risk anytime soon, but if we can stay a little bit lighter, that does work in our favor. To show you what we're thinking on the future tracker right now, from 5 p.m. through about 11, we have pretty consistent rain. Now, for the first couple of hours as we get into the evening and past sunset, it's mostly going to stay light to moderate and pick up a little bit after that, starting to see some more yellows and oranges and even some reds as we get towards 10, 11 p.m. But then a lot of that piece makes its way off towards the east. There's another little round that comes through south side and brings some heavy rain towards Danville and into South Boston, parts of Charlotte and Campbell counties around 3 a.m. But since we do have that little break, it helps to let the waters recede a tiny amount. So hopefully that doesn't bring in a ton of extra rainfall, but that's why we still have the flood risk that goes into Sunday morning. After that, any showers that we have on Sunday are much lighter. We stay pretty light around 7 a.m. There's a better chance around 2 or 3. Might even get some snow in some of our higher elevations with cooler air coming in, but those showers are not going to be nearly as robust as the rain that we've got through Saturday night. Some of that still lingers off towards the north and west going into the evening on Sunday, but a lot of us dry out and stay pretty dry on Monday, apart from some showers, mostly in the highlands. There's a flood watch that extends through a lot of the region right now, including all of our counties, and that sticks around through Sunday morning. Like I said, we do have that little extra piece, so that kind of keeps the flood risk around a little bit longer. Now, the level 1 risk extends from parts of Florida and Alabama all the way up into Pennsylvania. But the level 2 risk, where flooding is a little bit more likely, is especially into the Blue Ridge. And for us, like we were seeing earlier, does cover a good portion of the NRV, south side, and even into the Roanoke and Lynchburg zones. So if you can, try to stay inside through this evening and especially into those early parts of tomorrow morning. But by about 7, 8 a.m., a lot of those waters have receded. I don't think it's going to be too hard to get around early on Sunday. As far as accumulation goes, there's this stripe of 2 to 3 inches that extends from even Delaware down into North Carolina, and then a little piece of 3 to 4 inches that goes right up towards Martinsville. I don't think we'll necessarily see above 3 inches, but I wouldn't be surprised to see more than 2 when you accumulate all the rain that we've gotten since the start of the day through tomorrow afternoon. The main flood risk does go down after the morning, so anything that we get in the afternoon isn't going to be quite as impactful as what we'll see through tonight. And the main storm risk is staying in this level 2 down in Florida and into Alabama and Georgia. Even the level 1 risk stays south of Virginia for the most part. So that does work in our favor, helping us to stay at least a little bit calm, or at least so that we don't have 2 separate types of storm threats that we have to deal with. By Sunday, a lot of the weather's calmer and there's not a storm risk across a lot of the country. What we are going to have, even as we start to dry out, is a lot of wind rushing in. The pattern's going to change up. We'll start to bring in air from the northwest, and it's going to be a big pressure difference, which tends to mean a pretty big jump in wind speeds. Even as we start to dry out around 5, 6, 7, that's when winds really pick up. The actual winds that are sustained around 20 miles per hour, with gusts even higher than that, getting towards 35 and 40. And that's on top of the 3.3 inches of rain we've already had in January. That puts us above average. It's getting us close to what we got last month, which was also pretty well above average for December. And if we can get that 1 to 2 inches in most places, I wouldn't be surprised if we even beat what we got through last month and have a greater difference compared to average. Most of our temperatures tonight do fall back down into the 40s. Blacksburg at 40, Rocky Mount at 46, and Lexington at 47. We aren't able to warm a ton on Sunday. That keeps us pretty close to 50, which is about average for this time of year. But since we have that change in air pressure, that's going to keep on bringing colder air in. So a lot of our highs on Monday, while still in the upper 40s, some low 50s, we do have some more 30s off towards the west, and that's the way we're going to trend through the middle of the week. A lot of our temperatures keep on falling down into the 40s. I think we'll even have some highs in the 30s on Wednesday with a very small, brief cold front that just brings us a couple showers. After that, maybe some sprinkles on Friday, but we mostly stay dry through the end of the week. Gives us a little bit of extra heat coming through on Thursday before an extra round of cold on Saturday. But I think any next major rain system holds off until the start of that next week.